Okay, so let's talk about Amazon Lex. It's a AWS service provided to you to create AI chatbots. So using this, you can create both voice chatbot and a text-based chatbot. So voice chatbot is like the user can uh, say their questions and it will the output also will be in terms of voice only. And text is like people will write their question and the output will also be in text. Okay, so both options are there and it support multiple languages. So multiple languages are there which you can select at the start of creating the chatbot. So let's see how this looks. So here we have the Amazon Lex. Okay, and we are going to see a chatbot which we have already created. Yeah, so you can see a trial bot we have created. Let's see through it. Okay, so here is our chatbot which we have created, and let's just test it out first. So you can see this is how the bot looks. So here you can either type your message or you can even say your whatever your question is there. Okay, so let's try. We just write hi, and it says intent fallback intent is fulfilled. So let's discuss how the bot works and then we will see why this is happening. Okay. So the bot is comprising of intents. Okay. What is the intent? Intent is like you can say the goal the user want to achieve. So like we have written hi to our chatbot so that we can say it like this is the like a we can have a greeting intent in there, right? Or let's say we have to like order something. So like let's say order flower is there. Okay, so order flower can be a goal. So for each of the goal which we want to have it in our chatbot, we will create a intent. Okay, let's say order a flower and tell me about some flowers. So like flower description. Let's say we are trying to create a chatbot for a flower seller. Okay, so we can have order flower, flower description, cancel order, or like refund policy. Okay, so these all can be the goals the user want to achieve, and for each of the goal which we want our chatbot to fulfill, we have to create a separate intent. So let's see some sample intents we have created. So in our trial bot, if you can see, there are two intents: order flowers and fallback intent. Okay. So the fallback intent is actually the default intent. So if the bot is not able to understand anything, like it will not be able to relate your query to any of the intents which it has, it will go back to the fallback intent. Okay. That's why when we were testing it out, so we were not, we have written hi and it was not able to relate it to any of the intents because there is just a single intent which is just for ordering flowers. Okay, so that's why it went to the fallback intent. So now let's see how what all are the parts of the intent. So intent, the first part is the utterances. Okay, utterances are like user inputs which are going to trigger the intent. Okay, so you have to provide some sample. Let's say for ordering flower, what all can user write? Like there can be thousands of options, right? You don't have to write all of them. It's obviously AI, so You have to write just some samples and the lex will automatically relate it if the user is asking something similar. Okay. So in our case, the order flowers, if we see, so let's see our utterances here. So sample utterances, you can see, I would like to pick up flowers and I would like to order some flowers. Okay. So just two sample utterances we have provided. But if we try to test this out, I can write anything other than that also, but similar to this, and hopefully it will understand it. So let's see. I want to buy flowers. It's not exactly the same, but it sounds similar, right? Yeah. So you see, it has triggered this intent because this response is coming from this intent that we will see how it is configured. So the first thing when you are doing this is the initial response. So when the intent is triggered, there can be an initial response which you want to provide. Okay. But here, if you see the initial response is empty, so it passed on to the next part, which is the slots. So if you see here, slots. So slots are the data for intent. Okay. Your intent might need some inputs from the user. So in this case, let's say the user is asking to order flowers. So they have to provide some details of what they want to order, like which flower they want to order and maybe which day they want it to be delivered and at what time, right? So there might be need for slots. There can be cases of some intents where we don't need a slot, right? So slots in here, if you see, we have three slots in here, which is like first is the flower type, second is the pickup date, and third is the pickup time. So slots we have written up here. And then once the slot is there, it gets the data for the slot. Then there is a fulfillment. Okay. Fulfillment is the bot's action to complete your goal. Okay. So in this case, ordering flower means how what exactly ordering flower will do in, let's say, a shopping website. It has to go and create some entries into the database, right? In the database like order history or maybe there is a table like current order or pending orders. There it has to create some entry. So how that entry has to be created, we need to write some code somewhere, right? So in the fulfillment, bot will not be able to directly connect to any database or directly do anything. But what it can do is it can trigger another AWS uh, service which can do those changes. So generally, in such cases, what we do is we trigger a AWS Lambda function. Lambda function is like a place in AWS where we can write our code in any language. Okay. So the fulfillment, most of the cases, what we do is we will trigger a Lambda. Let's say in this case, we can trigger a Lambda and Lambda will go to order pending orders tables, and there it can write up like this is the order from this user. It has to be delivered in this date, this time, and these many of flowers. Okay, whatever details needed, it can put it there. So that's the fulfillment. So in this case, if you see, our fulfillment is empty as of now because this is just a trial intent, right? And then there can be a closing response would be once the fulfillment is done, what can answer like, okay, your order has been placed. Now, please ask if any other questions are there, right? So let's see our chatbot again. So I said it like I want to buy flowers, and it's asking like which flowers you want to order. So let's say jasmine. Now, what day you want the jasmine to be picked up? Tomorrow. And what time? Say 11 a.m. Okay, your judgment will be picked up at 11 a.m. and this does it sounds okay. So if you see this, this is the confirmation prompt in here. So it's just trying to confirm. Once we confirm, it should move to the fulfillment prompt. So since we haven't uh, written this up, this is empty. That's why it's saying like intent, this is fulfilled. We have to write in here whatever we have and the closing response we can write. Then it will show up that message. So that's how it works. And that's all you need to know about it. You don't need to know much more details of it there. When you are actually using it, you will have more features to it. But this is all needed for the exam. These things you need to remember: what is the intent, what are utterances, what are slots, and what is fulfillment. Okay. Other than that, there is like confirmation prompt is there, response is there. Those are simple terms which you can remember as it is, but it's not needed. Okay. Now the final thing for this is the intent classification confidence score threshold. Okay. So your bot is going to have multiple intents. And when a user is asking a question, it will try to map it, the question, it will try to relate it to one of the existing intent. Okay. And then for that mapping to happen, it will have a confidence score. Okay. Like how much confident it is, like this question is related to this intent. And that confidence will be between 0 to 1. Okay. Now, obviously, the intent which is having the highest score, confidence score, will be picked up. But in case like when it is not able to relate it with anyone, or let's say it's not getting a good confidence score with any of the intent, it has to fall back to the default intent which we have seen here, the fallback intent. So when do we trigger the fallback intent? So for that, in the bot setting, you can set this feature. So what would be the score below which, if the confidence score comes, it will go to the this fallback intent. So you can set it like, I think by default it is 0.4. So if it is not able to relate with any of the intent with a confidence score of 0.4 or above, it will fall back to the fallback intent. Okay. So yeah, that's all about. Let's